Going with the flow. What do you think this means? In normal sense, in like everyday life, we use it as being like easy breezy, going with the flow of whatever, the group is doing, whatever anyone else is doing. But this is to let you know that this is not the true meaning of go with the flow. Unfortunately, you have to be going with your flow. And this is different to what everyone else might be doing, saying, being. It's about you living in alignment with yourself and going with that flow. Once you're in that flow, you'll feel so magnetic. So many things will come to you because you are doing what is meant for you. So even though this phrase going with the flow, it does make you feel like, oh yeah, like I can do anything, whatever, it doesn't matter. But is it what you want? And it's not like the surface you. It's like you've spent time figuring out what that is for you. And then you're able to discern a little bit better in what is actually for you and what is not. So bear in mind, this is a difficult thing if you don't spend a lot of time by yourself, because it's very easy to get swept up in people, media, online presence, music, movies, whatever it is. It's easy to get swept up in these things if you don't take the time for you. And this is where some challenges can come for people, from what I've seen, in that it can make people very lost in themselves and not know who they are as a person, which is a shame, right? We get to this point in life where, like, adults, we're able to do our own thing, but is it our own thing? So this is just to encourage you to be able to take maybe a few steps back. Instead of just being like, oh, I'm easy for whatever, maybe learn to speak up. Speak up for what you actually want. Think about it too. Because this is also the cycle we can get stuck into, into not actually thinking about what it is that we want. And being able to speak up in moments and be like, hey, actually, no, I don't want to do that. Let's do this instead. Just try it out for a week or so instead of just being that easy person, because this is the thing, it doesn't build character and it doesn't build your development as you, as your person, as you in this existence. Because if you're always being swayed by others' thoughts, opinions, and you're not even taking that time to question if it is what you actually want, this is where you will get very lost and you will feel like you're off track and you're like looking back, is this even my life? Like, did I choose any of this? And this is the difference in living your life by like design, like what's meant for you, and going on like having the visual of being on like a conveyor belt, but you're parallel with someone else. So you're like living the same lives, but you're on your own conveyor belt. You don't have to do what they're doing. You can just be you, be in your lane. And obviously it's great to be able to share things with people and do things that other people want. Yeah, okay, every once in a while. But if your whole life is built around you not being you, what do you think is going to happen? There's a lot of like midlife crisis. Maybe you've like suppressed a lot of things because you're thinking, I'm the easy friend, I can just do whatever, it doesn't matter. But it does something to you as a person, like deep down. And you probably know this over time. This is why it leads up to these points of like dispersion of like what the hell is going on. It's like an unraveling almost. And then you're all exposed and you're just like, I don't know what's left of me. Was there even any me to begin with? So it's kind of like a little bit important just for you to hone in on you. And it's okay to not know. This is why life is such a great experience, because there's so much you can do. And I know it doesn't feel that way. You may be stuck, like, oh, I have to go to work, I have to pay bills. But there are little shifts you can do to kind of uncover what you want. Even like yesterday I went to the library. They had some like live music, which was really amazing. That's something that I enjoy. But going to things like the library where it's free and it's not really that much of a impact, you know, just like a couple hours of your day, whatever, to go and see what they have on. Sometimes they have like reading groups, language lessons. There's so many resources there, and it's not just limited to the library, right? There's a lot of things that are low cost, maybe things that your city puts on. Just try and find them. Event apps, maybe check those out and see if there's anything that kind of you like, that could be interested in that. Because that's the thing, you don't have to be 100% certain in these things. It's like trial and error. You can just figure yourself out. It's like taking yourself on a date just to uncover like what it is that you like and what you don't, because that leads you to build your character in yourself, allows you to be able to speak up in these situations, these environments, and just to understand you better, so you're not just swayed by the general public or the general opinion of others, of what others want to do. And this is like so much more fun when it comes down to it, because then you get to create things too. You get to be involved in it instead of just being like a passive person. This opens you up to being able to give direction, to be able to hone it on you, which this is really what this is about, is stepping from being passive to becoming like an active participant in your life. This is your life. This is your life. Live it. So being active, being activated, and just knowing you helps you live a more fulfilled life. And this brings about way better connections in your life, because you're then being you and you're not being swayed by others. And this means that you're able to give from like your overflowing cup sort of thing, because you feel fulfilled in yourself. And this is like a really nice place to live from, because this is the challenge in everyday life, is people give from the cup when they're not overflowing. They don't know themselves very well. They think they're very giving, but really it's a detriment to themselves. And of course there's situations where we feel like we have to do this, right? We're human, we want to give, and this is kind of how we're built to support each other. We were raised in communities like back in the day. This is kind of like how we operate, but it's also important to be able to differentiate yourself as you are an individual, and you have your own unique ways of seeing things and doing things, that if you don't speak up, if you don't have, say, opinions on anything, can you imagine how like dull life could be? And it won't take you anywhere fun or exciting, because you're just like, oh, whatever. So this message overall is to encourage you to step out being passive, to being more active in knowing yourself more, being able to discern for yourself what works for you in situations, what doesn't, what you like, what you don't like. Character development, let's call it. I know my previous video was on like life being a video game and stuff like this, but let's roll with that analogy and say, how about we're trying to develop the character? You're not a NPC, was that non-player character? You're the main character. Remember that. That's the drop.